All right, what's up, everyone? Trevor here, and today I'm going to jump in and talk about. We're going to talk about like being overweight, obesity, and kind of the whole. One of the biggest excuses I see people make about it is that they say it runs in their family or it's genetic. It's in my genes that my family is obese. And yeah, your family may be obese, but that doesn't mean you have to be obese. That doesn't mean you have to be overweight. That is a behavior thing. The behavior issue runs in your family. It's not the obesity that runs in your family. It's just a behavior issue. Your grandpa was big, your grandma was big, your aunts, your uncles, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, they're all big because it's a behavior issue. It is not genetics. It's because you were raised in that environment, more to speak. It's that you are always around these people who have these bad behaviors, poor health behaviors. They're doing, they don't exercise. That's not genetic. Anyone can exercise. They don't eat well. That's not genetic. That's choices. You choose what you put in your mouth. Being around them, growing up, they feed you as you're growing up. Family dinners, those types of things. Just being in that environment of unhealthiness and eating all the time and just overeating and eating a bunch of junk food. That's not genetic. They don't sleep. That's not that part could some part of that could be genetic, yes. Where you have sleep issues or something, but a lot of that comes from eating poorly, not exercising, not taking care of your body. So it all falls into place. But it's not a genetic issue with being overweight or even in the case of not being able to build muscle, saying, oh, that's genes. No, this is behavior issues. It's choices. The choices we make every day. Your family's obese. Everyone in your family's big. That's because of their behavior. They don't sleep. They don't exercise. They eat too much junk food. The process of just eating and eating and eating, what you're raised on, it's like, I mean, I don't. My family's not. I don't have a ton of big people. Like even um, grandma, she always forced you to eat. Force and eat. You can't eat until your plate's clean, or have some more when that's done. But even then, it was more homemade food. It wasn't a lot of highly processed stuff. But now it's just we go to our behavior is we're too lazy to cook a meal, so we got to go out and get McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, Arby's or Chipotle or whatever it is, all the fast food junk. You think you need to eat that all the time, or you go and buy the microwave meals and the foods that are not gonna fill you up. They're not nutrient dense, not the whole nutrient dense real foods. Whereas if you start making the changes and making the choices to change your behavior, just because they're your family, it doesn't run. Like I said, it's not your genetics. It's the behavior. You don't have to do everything they do. You can change this and you should change this. If you ultimately want to be the best version of yourself, the healthiest version of yourself, you need to change your behavior. So then that behavior wears off on your kids, your grandkids, those types of things. So they see that and not want to just stick with the same behaviors that have been getting passed down through the generations, the ones that you don't like, the bad behaviors, the no sleeping, the eating junk food, the not exercising, not training, not doing anything, the staying inside all the time, not getting outside. All these poor behaviors, these poor choices that you make become part of your life. And it's important to know that you control most of this stuff. You control what you put in your mouth. You control going and training and exercising. You control setting a bedtime and a wake up time and prioritizing your sleep. You control all those things. Those are just things that you can build in. Yeah, it might be tough at the beginning, but once you start doing them and stacking these smaller behaviors, these smaller habits together, that's how you build on them and turn these into the behaviors you want. Think of it. Think of All the things you currently do, just look at all the little things that you currently do, why you do it. It's probably because of your family, the environment that you're around, whether that's why do you brush your teeth? Because that was passed down to you from whatever, mom or dad or whoever raised you, that type of thing. So you think that's stuck with you. Whereas same as maybe you the same way you eat the same things, the same stuff that's passed down. But you can control it. You can break and learn these new behaviors and start building on that. That's what it's all about. It's being the best version of yourself, and building on the best version of yourself. And that starts with having the behaviors you want and start taking blaming it on yourself, not blaming it on your genetics, not blaming it on your environment because, yes, that's how it gets to you, but it's your fault that you follow through on all this stuff, even if you know it's not bad. And a lot of times growing up when you're a kid, you don't know it's what's good or bad for you necessarily because you don't know. I think that's kind of how ours were. We didn't know any better. But now we have all the information out there. Yes, there is a lot of garbage information, a lot of stuff, a lot of nonsense out there. Weird fad diets and stuff that you see. This food's bad one day, next day it's the best food ever for you. That type of nonsense. But if you're really focusing on it, start with those whole nutrient dense real foods with your nutrition. That's all you really need to do to start. You don't really need to do calories or macros or anything. Eating real foods, that's going to kind of self-regulate. And building behaviors around that. Building the behaviors that help lead to the life you want. Because you really need to take a deep dive into your life right now and think, are the behaviors matching the person you want to be, the life you want to live, the family role model you want to be? Because, I mean, that's why I do a lot of it. Yes, it's for my own health, but it's to be a role model for my family, to set a good example, to not be a fat, lazy turd anymore like I was back in my 20s and my college days. And not be that person. Because that was like a character I just chose to be at that time. Thinking that my environment made my choices for me, that college environment. Whereas I was able to break out of that. A lot of people don't break out. They don't change. They want to be that. I have plenty of friends and stuff that still live that college lifestyle and are drinking and partying every weekend and eating garbage all the time. And I made the choice to get out of that. Not let my environment, that's not genetics because I'm not related to any of those people. But even that, even the family members who are don't eat healthier, they drink all the time, it's not genetic. It's choices. I choose not to do that stuff. I choose to live a better life, a healthier life, because that's the life I want to live, the character I really am, not the old character of the partying, binge drinking pile of crap that I was. It's being the real version of me that I want, and to be a good role model for my family, my nieces and my nephews, and get them involved and things like that. So they see that, you can be big and strong and fast and still be able to move like a human as you're getting older. You don't have to get weak and old and not be able to move and do much as you get older. You should be able to do all the things you want and more as you get older. And that's the part about it. It's not, it's a crutch that too many people use as genetics. My pants don't fit. I always have big, of course we're going to have different traits in anatomy and anthropometry or stuff like that with the way we're shaped. But, I mean, I'm not going to be 7 feet tall. I'm 5'8". I ain't grown anymore. And I think maybe not. Maybe I'll have some random late life growth spurt, but who knows. But I don't come from a tall family. So, that stuff is genetic. But being overweight and obese is not. That's a behavior issue. Yes, there's probably some diseases and certain situations out there that, I'm talking about the majority of people who are just fat and overweight because they have poor behavior. They eat all the time. They drink all the time. They sit around, do nothing. They don't sleep. That is not genetic. That is behavior, but you blame it on your genetics. when you surround yourself in this environment, you let this environment control you rather than you taking control of your life. Because that's what most people just need to do. They just need to take control of the things they can control instead of worrying about all the stupid stuff that they can't control. The news, the politics, the other people, the weather, all the stuff that you can't control. You're so worried about it, but you can control what you eat, going to bed, training. You control all that. And if you ultimately want to be an athlete for life, live your best life, be healthy, and give your best chance at health. Yes, of course, you can't prevent all the diseases and everything. There's healthy, super healthy people that die early of like a heart attack or get cancer or whatever it is. But we can give ourselves the best odds, the best chances to fight these things and reduce injury and reduce illness and sickness by changing our behaviors and building the best version of yourself and doing the things that you know you should be doing. You just don't do it because maybe it's hard. Maybe it's you get embarrassed, or you think you might lose some friends, or people might look down on you. Who cares? Who cares? Those people aren't really your friends. They aren't your family. They don't want what's best for you. Then why even be around them? So, but that's a whole nother issue. So again, the obesity is not a genetic thing. It is your behavior. So fix your behavior, fix your life, and change your behavior, change your life. That's the whole thing about it. You control all this stuff, and you don't have to start with everything at once. That's the whole thing. Start with where you're at. Be realistic. Start smaller. Some people can start with more. Some people can get rid of everything at once or start a whole bunch of new stuff. But then you might not know what's working and what is. So focus on what you can start with. Start small. Again, maybe it's making simple swaps of just adding more protein. I would suggest start there. Maybe it's just getting more whole, nutrient-dense, real foods. Foods from earth, plants and vegetables, and foods from animals. So your meats, your dairy, your eggs, that type of stuff. That is key. Again, be realistic with where you're at and build on those. Start small, work on things for a couple of weeks, and then boom, eventually those become part of your life, part of your behavior. And then boom, you add something else. And then, oh man, you're sleeping now. Oh man, you're eating enough protein, you're drinking enough water. You're exercising 2 days a week you start. Oh, then 3, and then 4, then 5, and then man, you're feeling good. You're dropping weight, you're keeping it off, you're building muscle, all the good stuff. And then, whoa, your kids start noticing, and they want to join in, and they start getting involved, and they start following along. And then that's what it's really all about. You're setting up that healthy culture around you, that positive environment around in your life that maybe you didn't have growing up or you didn't have throughout your life. So that's key. And it's the main thing is just take control. Stop blaming it on genetics. Stop blaming it on other things. Stop making all these other stupid excuses and just put in the work, do the work. You don't have to wait for a perfect time. Just get started and figure it out as you go. That's the main thing. And if you need help figuring out, hire a coach. Send me an email, trevor@tagpn.com. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to chat and talk more about it. But other than that, that's what I got for you today, guys. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you again soon.